And it is slow yoga today, you'll be happy to know. So we're getting back into it gently. So I'm going to start today by doing a little bit of looking inwards. So I'm just going to move myself back to my mat. Just give me a wave just to make sure once I get to the mat that you can hear me okay. I've got my Christmas plant ready in the corner now. We're going, getting ready for Christmas. So we're going to be low on the floor today. And you might need books or blocks or bolsters. As you can see, I've got fluffy socks on because it's a little bit chilly. And they're odd because I don't really do socks that are fluffy that aren't odd. So if you'd just like to begin this morning, if you've got a cushion with you, just place a cushion underneath your tailbone. We're going to keep ourselves nice and snuggly and warm this morning. So we're going to use the cushions as much as we can. Like I said, keep your socks on, keep our muscles warm and relaxed. At first, if you just like to sit into easy pose, or you can sit in half lotus or even lotus, whichever is your comfortable starting position. I am going to go to lotus. And just soften your palms and place them on your knees. And give yourself permission to close and relax the muscles around your eyes. If you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, then just soften your gaze. And I invite you to draw your attention to the in-breath and the out-breath. Being aware of the rise and the fall within yourself, with that in-breath and the out-breath. Just choosing to consciously be aware of your breath today. Knowing there's nowhere else that you need to be. This is your gift of time for yourself. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth and unclench the jaw. Allow your throat to soften, your shoulders to move away from your ears, softening the palms. And as you inhale, I'd like you to inhale and just see if you can lift yourself up slightly, straightening out your spine, taking your heart forward. And as you exhale, exhaling slowly through the nostrils. Just allowing yourself to come back to you, to that place and time that's just for you. As I said before, we have our hands gently placed on our knees. They're softened. And our palms are facing outwards. Just being aware of how that sensation feels. It's kind of a giving sensation that you have as you hold your hands in this position. You can almost imagine drawing that energy forward, giving it out to the universe. Just being aware of how you feel about giving. If it's comfortable for you. If that sensation, if you need more of it in your life, or perhaps this is really familiar for you, and that you give and give and give all the time. We're not judging that sensation, we're just being aware of it. Good time of year to be aware of giving. Now we're going to change this slightly. I want you to lift your forearms in. I know I'm wearing a big jumper today because it's a little bit chilly, so hopefully you can see me okay. I'm going to draw the forearms in towards the body slightly, bringing the hands up. So you can almost imagine that you're holding something within your hands. We're taking that giving sensation. We're now moving into receiving. So if you were to imagine a movement in this position, even though we're not moving at the moment, that would be drawing that energy into yourself, into your heart. But at the moment, we're just holding the forearms in. Imagine that we're holding something, maybe a bunch of flowers, something greater than that. Just being aware of that sensation of receiving today. And how you feel about receiving. Sometimes receiving is much more difficult than giving. It's just being aware of how you feel about receiving. Seeing if there's something that you would like to receive into your life. If you can change your relationship and receive more gracefully and gratefully. Now I would like you to draw that receiving energy with your hands down towards your heart. Maybe pulling it into yourself, holding it close, welcoming that sensation into your whole body. Inhaling deeply through the nostrils. Inhaling that receiving sensation, feeling it throughout your entire body. Welcoming it to yourself. You know what you want to receive. Enjoy it. Gently blink your eyes open. Just give your wrists a little roll. Take your arms wide into a nice big stretch, going aeroplane arms now, imagining our fingertips are being stretched away from the body. Flip the palms so they're facing up to the sky. You will feel a sensation if you have stiff shoulders here. Just take the shoulder blades so they're really close together. You're taking your arms back, and you can take your head back gently in this position too. Soften jaw, soften throat. And then taking the hands forward, so the palms are facing forward, stretching out those fingertips nice and wide. And imagine someone you love is running into your arms, and you're going to take your arms in and you're going to grasp them in a big hug. Taking one hand on top of the other, and you're going to see if you can take hold of your shoulder blades in this position. So you're giving yourself a really big hug now. You can drop your chin down if you wish in this position, and gently moving from left to right. Might be some clicking or clunking as you do this. If you wish in this position, you can say, I love you, and put your name at the end of it. I love you, Caroline. I love you. We don't get enough hugs in life, so giving yourself a hug in our slow yoga class, it's a really nice, nurturing, kind thing to do for yourself. Be aware now of which arm is on top, because we're going to swap it over. So take the arms wide once more, stretching them out. Taking the shoulder blades together, palms stretched wide, take the head back, softening the jaw, opening the throat. Which hand was on top, opening up to the whole universe, stretching, lifting your ears away from your shoulders. And someone you love is running into your arms from a distance, and you're going to rush And lean in, bringing your arms in, opposite hand on top, throwing your arms around them and yourself at the same time, taking hold of your shoulder blades if it's comfortable to do so. I invite you to tuck the chin in if you wish. Just rocking from left to right in this position. Really big hug for yourself. Say, I love you, and put your name at the end of it. And take the arms wide once more. Taking them wide, taking the fingertips to the, taking their palms towards the sky. This time, relax the shoulders down. Imagining that piece of string on the crown of your head lifting you up. Or you can imagine someone who loves you is placing their hands on your back. This always helps you stand a little bit prouder. And inhaling, I want you to just bring your fingertips up to your shoulders. So we're placing our fingertips on our shoulders and we're just going to do some gentle shoulder rolls. So we inhale on the rise, exhale lower, inhale rise, exhale lower. There might be clicking or crunching as you're doing this. That's a good thing as you release that clicking or crunching. You're releasing the tensions and the burdens you've been carrying with you in your body. So allow yourself to move further into that roll. And now rolling in the opposite direction. Still inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Gently bringing your hands down. Give your arms a shake out. Move however you need to. And just allowing your legs. If you were in lotus or half lotus, support yourself out of this position. Going to come off our cushion now. I have our lovely assistant today, it seems. Hello, Storm. If he's cold, he may well lie on me while I'm in some positions because he does like that. If you have a bolster, I invite you to grab your bolster now. If you don't have a bolster, what you can do is you can take a pillow and just fold it in half so you can use it in the same manner, okay? We're just going to take our bolster and we're just going to place it in the small of our back. The soles of our feet are together. Just relaxing them out. If this isn't comfortable for you to stay in this position, you can straighten the legs out in this pose as well. And a nice way to be able to get down in this position, really pulling that cushion in. You can take your elbows down to the ground, supporting yourself down to the ground. You're supporting your spine on that bolster. Once you've been there for a second, you might want to shuffle up that bolster slightly higher. You've got an option in this position. And the option is you can either have your head supported. If you've got any neck injuries, you will want to be keeping a nice straight neck. If you wish, you can shuffle further up your bolster and allow your head to fall over the top. And your knees are just falling out to the side. If you've got any stress on your knees and you feel like you need additional support, you can always take a block or a book and just place it under your knee, or even another cushion, placing it underneath so it's not such an intensive stretch on the hip area. And just opening up the palms and the shoulders. And drawing your attention back to your breath, knowing wherever you are is perfect. And as always with our slow yoga process, we start by giving ourselves permission to let go. Being aware of what's happening in our body and if there's any tension that's unnecessary. And a nice way to do this is just by adding a nice exhale with a sigh type sound. So you inhale through your nostrils and just say, ah. Just Trying this for 3 breaths. And what can you let go of here? What tensions aren't useful to this position? So what can you let go of physically? Will make this pose more comfortable for you. What can you let go of mentally? Or maybe mentally your mind is super busy. And if that's the case, just invite you to draw your attention back to your breath. Just inhaling slowly through the nostrils. Exhaling. And I invite you in this pose to exhale through the mouth with that motion. Feeling the stresses and the aches tumble from your mouth as you exhale, sighing it away from yourself. And very slowly supporting yourself out of this position. Take your time. We don't notice how deep we go into these poses as we pause into them. So draw your legs up gently, taking the soles of the feet onto the ground. Soles of the feet onto the ground. And you can just gently roll yourself off that bolster or that cushion. Just being kind to yourself. I'm going to move the cushion around. I'm going to sit up so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm still moving slowly. And if you're still coming out of that pose, then please do take your time. Now turning the bolster so it's horizontal. Okay. We're just going to give ourselves a supported bridge today. And to do that, we're going into, so our bolster's now horizontal. Hello, Storm. Storm is looking at me like, what are you doing? Having you settled down, I want to sit on your heart. So we're taking that bolster, the soles of the feet onto the ground, and we're gently leaning back across the bolster. Take your shoulders down towards the ground in this position. So you should be supported in a bridge pose. Once you get there, you might find that you need to move your bolster maybe down or up. That's a personal choice. You find where you need that support. Try not to let your knees fall out in this pose. I'm going to have to adjust my foot. So we're trying not to let our knees to roll out in this pose. We're still lifting our hips slightly. Once again, we're softening the palms away from us, just letting the arms relax out. If you would like to add to this further, you could just take your hands above your head. Just taking the hands above the head. So reaching up gently. So you're getting a fuller stretch across the body. You're still lifting those hips, but you're supported. Drawing the attention back to the breath. Inhaling deeply through the nostrils. As you inhale, I want you to see if you can pull yourself back to that aspect of receiving. What would you like to receive into your life? What could you do with a little bit more of? Would help you grow and glow. Is there something that you need to let go of? so you can receive more fully in your life. Giving yourself permission to surrender what physical tension isn't useful here, which emotions are not useful here that you could let go of, that would make this pose, your practice today, perhaps even your life more comfortable. In a strange time of year, that time of year where we're moving towards that shortest day, we have the urge to stay inside with jumpers and fires, be cozy, withdraw within ourselves. Allow yourself to withdraw into yourself at this time of year, moving with the seasons. Finishing up anything you need to finish up, rather than beginning the new. Knowing that we're preparing, that we're completing, and that soon the light will come. And we will get that urge, that beautiful urge to begin again as we get more light in our days. But at the moment, take that time by yourself to enjoy being within that dark kind of part of the year is actually a beautiful offering to yourself. And gently coming out of this position. We're going to bring our buttocks straight back to the ground. So you might want to support yourself to roll down through the bolster. Taking the elbow onto the ground and support yourself up however you get there. Taking time to come out of this pose. Give yourself a moment just to roll any joints that you need to roll. Moving, flexing and stretching. Like I said, now is about being cozy. It's about being kind to yourself. It's a time of year where you might look at the things you've done in the rest of the year and realise there's unfinished projects. These are the ones that we focus on at this time of year rather than throwing ourselves into something new. And you'll find yourself being much more comfortable with this aspect as you do that. Going to take you now into a different pose. It's a little bit more dynamic. First of all, we're just going to go up into a tabletop position. Ow! Got bitten by a cat. Yes, he's not liking me not cuddling him. And we're going to take our right foot forward. You can do this as much or as little as you choose. If you wish, you can place a cushion underneath that back knee. So it looks a little bit like equestrian to begin with. And we're trying to stretch out that back leg and straighten it out. But the top of the foot is just touching the mat. We haven't got that curl under, we're just touching the mat with that. Once again, this is slow yoga. So we're relaxing into each pose. Rather than having both hands, our hands on either side of the leg, we're going to take them inside the leg. Okay? And just begin to tilt your your front leg out so the blade of your foot is touching now. And just go to wherever is comfortable for you. Letting the knee fall out to the side. And just relaxing in this position. You don't need to go any further than that. Just finding out your maximum level with this today. Drawing your attention to your breath. You can imagine that leg that's tilting out to the side being like a dragon's wing. You might even want to straighten that back leg out further. You might find that naturally straightening now. Just knowing wherever you are is exactly where you are supposed to be. You have chosen this time and place. Once you've been there for a moment, if you wish, you might even want to lower yourself down onto your forearms, if this is comfortable for you to do so. Making your gaze point the ground. You might want to place your head on a block or a cushion. Just find your own personal comfort level here. It's not about pushing. Just relaxing into that pose and finding your comfortable level today. Knowing if you find that edge and you push yourself too far, you can always pull back. People who overstretch in yoga, overstretch in life. Find your comfortable position. And gently supporting yourself out of this pose, bringing that knee in from the side, putting weight onto that front foot, supporting yourself out of that pose. Very, very slowly, nice and gentle. Just going to take ourselves into a tabletop position. Briefly here. Gaze point is the ground, imagining someone's putting a tray of drinks on your back. And inhaling, bringing your chin to your chest. Exhale, eyes to the sky. No rush for this, slow motion. See if you can feel each vertebrae as it moves. Bringing the chin to the chest, feeling the tailbone down to the ground, and then the navel up towards the spine. Exhaling, eyes to the sky. Being kind and listening to yourself as you roll from one position to the next. I think I'm going to need to just open the door for my beautiful little helper here this morning, which means in 2 seconds I will have to do that again. Sorry about that, guys. And now we're going to take that opposite leg forward. So once again, you can place the cushion underneath the knee, if that's comfortable for you to do so, if it's more comfortable for you to do so. Taking that opposite leg forward. Taking weight into that front foot. As I said, we're not in equestrian here. Equestrian, we have our hand, we start with our hands inside, so we're taking our hands to the outside, inside of the foot. And just letting your hips settle down in that position and starting to turn your foot so that the blade of your foot is touching the ground and the sole of the foot is not. You can see if I lean back, that knee is starting to fall out to the side there. And you're going to be starting to straighten out that back leg naturally in that position. Just relaxing it out and see where it takes you. Don't need to push it. Allow yourself to exhale through the mouth. And just let go of any unnecessary tension here. And see if it changes the quality of how you feel in this position. Once you've been there for a moment, you might choose to lower yourself down onto your forearms in this position. Just knowing wherever you are is perfect. Just once more finding your own edge, allowing yourself to surrender into that pose. Finding your own personal level. Give yourself permission to let go. And being aware As you let go, if there's any different sensations in your body, if any muscles change, you might want to try that exhale through the mouth. And now bringing that sole of the foot back down to the ground, the knee above the ankle, so you can support yourself out of that position. Bringing yourself back to that tabletop position. Moving your cushion out of the way. Oh, I think Ozzy's ready to come back in. Thank you, Ozzy. Yes. Coming into a tabletop position. I'm going to curl our toes under this time. So curling the toes under, bringing the chin to the chest. This is going to feel slightly different to when we did it before. Come on, Ozzy, move it back to me. So this is going to feel slightly different to when we did it before, because that toes are curled under. We're giving ourselves a bit of a toe stretch at the same time. Inhaling, bringing the chin to the chest, really big curl in this position. Exhale, eyes to the sky. Inhaling, chin to chest. Exhale, eyes to the sky. Rolling through the spine. Noticing the change as you roll from one pose to the next. And then uncurling the toes. We're going to lower ourselves down in the prone position. Just lowering ourselves to the ground, not working hard to get down there. We're just going to take ourselves up on our forearms, so fingers are spread wide. And we're tucking the elbows in to the body in Sphinx pose. Our fingers are spread nice and wide to give us stability here. Tops of the feet on the ground. I just want you to roll your hips from left to right here. Just loosen up that whole hip area. Take your heart forward slightly. Imagine your head just lifting up slightly more, your shoulders moving away from your ears. If you wish in this pose that you can, take a bolster or a cushion to support you. Or you can just hold it exactly where you were. It's a personal preference. Just going to put my bolster there to demonstrate that today. Just breathing in this position, giving yourself permission to let go, being aware that in this position our heart can be quite vulnerable. And I want you to draw your attention back to that aspect of giving. I think at this time of year we get a lot of pressure upon us about giving, about what we must give to others, how we must conform, people telling us the right way we should give with publicity and whatnot. So as you draw your attention to your heart and that aspect of giving, let's try flipping the palms over so we're opening up the palms and softening the palms. And that giving pose with our hands as we take our heart forward, exhaling slowly with that sigh through the mouth. Just allowing yourself to sit with the sensation about what you're really comfortable to give. And what does giving mean to you? Is it having to wrap 1,000 presents? Does that give you great joy? Maybe it's making a meal, making handmade cards. Might even be giving someone some of your time by calling them. What's your true motivation behind that giving? And gently allowing yourself out of that space. We're going to lift ourselves up and take it back into extended child's pose. If in extended child's pose your buttocks don't reach your heels, you can place a cushion in this area here. You can even play with this even if you naturally reach that position, because sometimes it's just nice to be in a different pose. You're stretching your arms forward. Placing the forehead on the ground. If the forehead doesn't reach the ground comfortably, you can place a block or a book. I use books quite a lot before I have blocks. And just place that underneath the head. And just drawing your attention to your breath. Always coming back to our conscious breath. And giving yourself permission to let go here. Just surrender. To yield. Might want to roll your head from left to right. Giving yourself a forehead massage while you're here. Might even like to exhale through the mouth with that beautiful sighing sensation. Just allowing any muscles to really let go. This is such a safe pose. Your heart's protected. Your heart is protected by your whole back. It's drawing down to the ground, drawing the stability and the support up from the earth. It's a very safe, nurturing position. You can have your hands outstretched here. I'm going to invite you today to bring your hands into a regular child's pose. And that means bringing our hands towards our feet. If you're used to stretching out forward in this pose, you will find it slightly different. 3 of those beautiful sighs. Knowing you don't need to be anywhere. This is actually your gift to yourself. And what a beautiful gift. It's a nice pose to nurture yourself. It's also really good at decompressing the spine naturally. Surrendering and yielding here is a really safe place to be. Allowing yourself to process all the things that have happened this year as we enter that dark era, that dark part of the year. Softening, softening, softening. Beginning to draw yourself out of this pose however you get there. Coming up into that tabletop position. I'm not even going to move my cushion from where it was. I'm just going to come straight back to that tabletop position. Gaze point is on the ground below you. Once again, we're adding some cat pose. Might feel completely different now we've been in that child's pose. Just moving at your own pace. One more. Curling that tailbone under, curling the chin under, lifting the navel up towards the spine. Coming back to your parallel position. Gently now, moving that cushion, if you had one, out of the way. We're going to take it onto our back. Don't worry, we're not rushing to get anywhere today. We're just stretching out our legs. Again, if you've got a cushion or a bolster, we're going to take that cushion, that bolster, and we're going to place it in the base of our spine. Just holding it in, drawing ourselves back. Keeping the legs straight this time. I always drag my mat up when I do that. So the heels are on the floor and the hips are lifted. You might even want to take the soles of the feet to the ground and just draw that cushion down a little, depending on where you feel you need your back supported in that pose. So your toes are pointed, your heels are on the ground. You could just relax your arms to the sides. So in kind of a fish pose here. If you wish, you can take your hands above your head in this position. You can even take your hands so you're going palm to panel cross in the wrist. Just stretching through the whole body in this position. Imagine a piece of string attached to your toes and attached to your fingertips. Just stretch, stretch, stretch all the way through the body and then relax all those muscles down. Relax the feet out to the sides, relax the palms. Giving yourself permission to relax. And then I invite you to roll onto the right hand side. Just rolling onto the right. The bolster's going to naturally just move slightly. You might need to adjust it onto that side of the body. So you open up the whole side of the body. Bolster in the waist, taking both hands above your head in this position. Place one foot on top of the other if that's comfortable to do. See if you can keep your body nice and straight so that you're not going forward like a banana. Inhaling deeply through the nostrils and then allowing yourself to relax into this. As you allow yourself to relax into this, you might notice a difference of sensation, muscles relaxing and letting go. Letting your worries and burdens of the year tumble out of your mouth. Surrendering into that pose, allowing yourself that peace, that tranquility, being still. And imagine a lake, completely tranquil, sometimes disturbed, slightly with a ripple, with a breeze. The light catches the lake. It doesn't really affect how the water moves. But you see that refraction in the stillness, and it increases that beauty of the stillness outside of you and inside of you. And gently supporting yourself out of this position, you may wish to take your hand, your palm down to the ground, lift yourself up. Now for you, you may wish to roll over. If I roll over, then I will not be facing you, so I am going to take myself to the other side. Just placing that bolster. Again, we're going to be placing it into this waist area. So we're just settling down onto that bolster, supporting ourselves on our elbow to get there. And roll up it slightly, straightening out those legs. It takes a little while to get into these poses, and once we're in them, I find that we have a tendency to adjust. You can stretch out on your side first of all. Again, once after you've stretched out, just allowing yourself to just let go, adjusting the bolster if you need to adjust it slightly there today. See if you can place one foot on top of the other, if that's comfortable for you to do so. Using the hands so they're one foot on top of the other. And then just being aware if you're rolling forward like a banana or if you're adding a back bend. Just trying to straighten out the body. And then we begin that process as we always do. And we're allowing ourselves to relax, to surrender. To let go. Giving yourself permission to let go, to give yourself that gift of letting go. Knowing this is the correct time to let go. Once again, you can draw your attention back to that beautiful imagery of the lake, of that tranquil water within the lake, of how outside conditions affect that lake. And when you're ready, however you get there, just supporting yourself up. For me, it's comfortable in this position to take my palm in front of my face and roll myself out of that position. And just take a moment to just move any part of the body you need to. I'm going to go onto my knees and just give myself a little twist, looking behind me in that pose. It's not even a big movement, but I just feel like after coming out of that, I always need it. Gentle twist. And coming back to center, rolling the shoulders back. 1, 2, 3. This time when we roll our shoulders back, I want you to imagine pushing your solar plexus and your heart forward, so it's going to be a more dynamic movement. 1, 2, 3. We're going to take ourselves, if you have a cushion or a bolster, and sit on this. It's quite a comfortable position, I find. If you're not comfortable on your knees, please just sit in easy pose here, okay? I know I'm running over a little bit today, but we did start late because we had problems with the link. So just get in a comfortable pose there. You should feel quite supported and your back should be naturally straight in this position. Tops of your feet are on the floor. Opening up this whole chest area, taking the shoulders back slightly, taking the shoulders away from the ears. And you can do that by either taking your fingertips down to the ground, or just imagining someone who loves you placing their hand on the top of your back. And when you do that, there's something about it that just helps you lift up, makes you feel more supported. And I invite you to take your left hand onto your heart, your right hand on top. If the other way is, if the opposite hands are comfortable for you, then please, please do so. I know some yoga teachers are very specific between male and female and how they should place their hands on their heart. For me, I think you naturally do what you need. And just bringing your attention back to your breath. As you bring your attention back to your breath, you might notice that you lean forward or back slightly. Just relaxing those unnecessary muscles in this pose. And sighing out those stresses from your mouth. I invite you to draw your chin towards your chest. Relax the shoulders. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Drawing your attention inwards. Just being aware of the sensation you have, any sensations you have. As you draw your attention inwards. It's a good time of year to reflect, to connect with our inner awareness. Might be a familiar sensation for you if you're a very private person. Or you might realize perhaps you need a little bit more looking inwards within your life. You would like more of that quality in your life. Perhaps you need to be more private. No judging. Just looking inwards and being aware of anything arises in this position. Lifting your head now. Just rolling the shoulders, rolling the wrists. I just want you to take a moment to come out of that. We're not actually moving out of this pose. We're going to finish in this with our legs in this pose today rather than going into Savasana, because I think we've had quite a cozy, warm session and I don't want to move you too much. I just want you to process anything that came up as we were looking inwards. Like I said, it's a great time of year to look inwards. And I just invite you to open your palms. Open your knees a little bit further. Opening the knees a little bit further. Just opening the palms into receiving pose. Take your heart forward. Soften your eyes. You can relax the muscles around your eyes and relax the muscles around your mouth. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. You might even want to shake out the jaw. And I'm going to keep my hands in giving, but I would like you to draw your forearms back in towards the body, taking them into receiving, pulling them back in slightly towards you. As I send you a little bit of Reiki today. And you can focus upon your breath as you choose to gracefully receive. Some people feel a sensation as they receive, and some people Either is okay. Being aware of how receiving feels to you. Knowing that everything has a cost and a price. I don't mean that in monetary value. And part of the transaction of giving is the other person receiving. It adds value. So please accept this gift today. Know your relationship with giving and receiving, no matter where that is now, it's something that you can play with just by moving through opening the palms and that sensation of giving and drawing the arms back into the body and towards the heart for receiving. And welcoming in that sensation. Now I invite you to draw your hands up into prayer pose. Take your thumb towards your heart. Placing the thumb on the heart. Taking your chin down towards your chest. We bow to a great many things in life. We bow to devotion. So I invite you to devote your practice to something today. Maybe yourself, someone else, something in the world that's greater than yourself. Namaste. And Ariom. Thank you for joining me today. It was a pleasure to see you both again, and to anyone else that joined me.